This is the X15. Right now, it's running Jellyfin, Prometheus, my backups, and an entire ZFS array. It's also somehow my gaming PC, and I didn't have to compromise either thing to make it work. Now, let's talk about how I did that, what's going on in the background, and all that good stuff. Howdy folks, Zack here with 45 Home Lab, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're turning an X15 running Unraid into a gaming rig. Not instead of a NAS, in addition to one. Here's what we're covering today. Why this hardware setup makes GPU pass-through actually clean, no janky workarounds, building a CachyOS VM, that's great for gaming, inside of Unraid, and passing through an RTX 4060 low profile, driving a monitor plugged directly into the pass-through GPU, no streaming stack required, and whether this actually is worth doing or just a cool party trick. Now, if you want to follow along at home, I put together a full step-by-step guide, link in the description, and it covers the VM config, the pass-through setup, all of that. Now, let's talk about one detail that we have on this. So that's the CPU. That makes this very clean setup, and it works really well. So because the X15 has something a lot of dedicated gaming rigs don't have nowadays, it has that Intel i7-14700 CPU that has that built-in iGPU. So it makes it that you can still access Unraid, but you can pass through that GPU entirely without any sort of workarounds or sacrificing anything. Now, if you have one GPU in the system, Unraid needs that GPU to run its own display when it boots, which means that you end up in this awkward dance of hooking the GPU to the host, boot, then handing it off to the VM, which involves VBIOS dumping and a bunch of other unpleasantness that I'm not going to make you sit through. On the X15, Unraid's own console runs off the iGPU. The 4060 low profile is never touched by the host OS. So when the gaming VM starts, it gets the card cleanly, no fight, no workarounds. VFIO just picks it up and hands it over. Same card that has been pulling Frigate, TensorRT duty in our previous builds, and just doing a completely different job here. All right, now let's talk about actually building the gaming VM. So quick call before we actually build anything. We're using CachyOS instead of Windows for the guests. Why is that? So CachyOS, Arch-based distro built entirely around squeezing performance out of modern hardware, a tuned kernel scheduler, packages compiled specifically for your CPU's instruction set, and Proton baked in. As of early 2026, it's actually overtaken Arch itself as the distro with the most user-submitted compatibility reports on ProtonDB. So the community data behind will my game actually run is substantial, no license, no management, no activation. You'll see in just a second a noticeably less painful pass-through setup. So, all right, let's go into the Unraid VM Manager. We're gonna build the CachyOS VM, and we're gonna pass through that 4060. Now, the high-level config here that you need to nail down is the CPU cores, pin those dedicated performance cores to the actual VM itself. Of course, we're using this, kind of pinning all of those to this, just to kind of see what we can get. RAM, we're gonna allocate, we have 32 gigs in it, we're gonna allocate 16 gigs, just to kind of give us enough breathing room on both ends here. And then the GPU, so that RTX 4060 is getting passed through the PCI device. Unraid will also grab the associated HDMI audio device, pass that through, or you'll have no sound in the VM. Then the NVIDIA driver, so VFIO driver shipped in the Linux kernel already, so there's no separate driver install set for storage, network, like you'd have on Windows. Now, what you do need to install manually inside CachyOS is the proprietary NVIDIA driver. No getting around that. The open kernel module works, but the proprietary one is the safer one overall. Video output, disable the emulated VNC. In the VM templates, CachyOS boots straight into the monitor plugged into the pass-through GPU. Check the display settings first after boot, confirm the resolution, and all that looks good. Now, while I'm no master at Unraid itself, they've made this really easy to set up, pins the cores, passes through, it's a very easy process, which is refreshing to see. Now, let's talk about a lightweight alternative here instead of doing a full VM. So quick detour, and it's more of a natural jump now that we're already in Linux land and instead of Windows, running a Windows guest. And if you don't want to manage a full VM at all, there are two container-based approaches worth knowing about. Steam headless, I should say. Run Steam with GPU pass-through inside of a Docker container. No full Windows install required. Games on Whales, it's a similar idea. More modular, designed to run games and applications inside containers. Stream to a Moonlight client. Worth flagging, both of these are built around streaming to a remote Moonlight client and not driving a monitor directly the way we're doing today. If a full VM with a monitor plugged straight into the GPU is more your speed, these are less of a fit, but if you'd rather go headless and stream instead, this is the lighter weight path to get there. Let me know if you want to see that in another video and I'll get that set up. So now let's talk about the honest trade-off. So there are a few here, but the ones I'll highlight is compatibility is more limited than a real Windows VM And the anti-cheat is even more of a problem in containers than in VMs, at least from what I've read. If you've been playing single-player games without any kernel-level anti-cheat, the container approach is genuinely slick. For anything competitive, the full VM is the safer bet. Links to both of those projects are going to be in the description. Now, the real question, does this actually hurt NAS performance? And so this is an X15. As we said, it's running Unraid. It has ZFS Array, Jellyfin, Prometheus, Grafana, and now a gaming VM under load. Does something give? Short answer from actually testing, not really. If you've pinned your CPU cores correctly, the 4060 is only drawing 115 watts under gaming load, which is modest for a server with 1000 watt PSU. Thermals stay manageable because the X15's cooling is designed around spinning hard drives, not GPU thermals, but with a low profile card, the 150 watt, there's enough headroom. And there's one detail that makes this less risky than it sounds, and it's worth calling out plainly instead, just glossing over it. So Jellyfin transcodes and the games aren't fighting over the same encoder. Transcoding on the host runs through the iGPU QuickSync engine, while the game inside the VM is using the 4050's NVEC NVNC. Don't know why I always pronounce it like that, but that's what it actually is. And that's a real structured reason that this holds up, and it's not just a lucky test run. And that's kind of what the X15's kind of build is around. It's a very easy setup that gives you a lot of power, gives you a lot of flexibility, whether that be for gaming, containers, virtualization, sharing out any of your videos, pictures, so on and so forth. All very, very easy. So where you actually can feel it, if you have a parity check running and you didn't pin the CPU cores properly, then you'll probably see frame time variance in games. Core pinning is not optional. It's the thing that keeps the VM's performance isolated from the rest of what the box is doing. And you're kind of just putting them in a box, between a box, so on and so forth. And core pinning turned out to go deeper than the one setting people usually talk about. Pinning the VM's vCPUs is only half. The emulator thread pins up for I/O handling isn't covered by that same pin, and the default is free to float across every core on the system. In our own testing, that showed up as real measurable load, bleeding onto cores nowhere near the ones that were pinned for gaming, ones that should have been sitting idle instead of spiking in short bursts. Pinning the emulator thread to its own dedicated core cleaned that up completely. The wandering load disappeared and the gaming cores held a flat, stable line for the rest of the session. Now, to actually test this, instead of just eyeballing an idle dashboard, we built a small toolkit that simulates the Jellyfin transcode, several concurrent streams cycling through the actual Jellyfin quality via the iGPU. And it's going to mimic backup activity, show us what kind of that CPU spiking, the GPU, RAM utilization, all kind of looks like under load. So I'm not going to pretend that this is a flawless gaming PC. That's not what its main use case is, but here's what you're actually signing up for. 1080p card, the RTX 4060 low profile. It's a solid 1080p GPU with DLSS and frame generation. It can punch into 1440p into a lot of titles, but you're not getting native 4K out of it. Anti-cheat is still a real problem, just a different flavor than on Windows. Easy Anti-Cheat and BattleEye both now officially support Proton for titles where the developers opted in. So this isn't the same blanket VM detection wall that you hit on a Windows guest, but kernel-level anti-cheat that hasn't opted in. Valorant's Vanguard being the big one, simply doesn't run on Linux. Full stop, at least from my scene, VM or not. Check Proton DB per game if you want to know a little bit more per game. This is a make use of what you already have set up. And if you own an X15 and you're sitting there playing 200 watts 24/7 anyway, adding a gaming VM with GPU pass-through, it's going to add a lot of benefit to your system. So with my take and verdict on this, it is a very easy setup. Like, I haven't done a lot of GPU pass-through, especially not when it comes to gaming. Like I said, I am not a master when it comes to Unraid, but it was really fun going into the Unraid OS, seeing what that pass-through looks like, building my own pool, seeing what has to be done for, Docker to get CachyOS on there, because I primarily come from using something like Proxmox. And knowing that I can still have all these containers spun up, the storage, and all of this like kind of plug and play, or at least plug and play as you can get with a lot of these normally complex systems, is really kind of refreshing to see. Now, with the hardware that we have in this, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, because of course, if you're going to be running, let's say, a gaming rig and doing a bunch of other stuff like I've mentioned on here, this is what I am currently running. So if you're building this yourself, the X15, it ships with that i7-14700 UHD 7070 combo. That's standard. That's the part doing the heavy lifting for the clean pass-through, and it decides whether or not you're gonna add a GPU. Configurable up to 128 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe, 9416i LSI card, and 2 onboard 10 gigs. Ensure that you're not going to run into bottlenecks for every throw at it, and every unit comes with a lifetime Unraid license already included. Now, let me know in the comments below, are you running a gaming VM on your home lab, maybe a game server? What kind of hardware setup do you have already? And for anyone who's hit the anti-cheat wall, what games are giving you grief? The full setup, as mentioned, is going to be in the description below for that VM config, VFIO pass-through, display setup, every little bit of it. And if you want to see everything we have on offer, head on over to store.45homelab.com. We now have financing available in the US. Our socials and links to the projects we talked about are linked in the description. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. See ya.